Whoa, it's Wulzy. Welcome back to the Geometry Dash Demon Building episode. This is the fourth time? Whatever it is, we have a name now. Redemption Arc was an extreme demon I published at the end of 2.1, and I feel like calling this level Learning Curve. Thank you very much for the name suggested. This is fire. This is what we have so far. Last time we made this transition that I think I'm gonna change because it kind of looks a little bit jank. I looked at it frame by frame. I don't really like it. Like, ew. So what I realized is that I can just scale down these objects real quick, and then we just run a big toggle right at the end of all of the easings real quick, just like this. I'm tweaking a little bit. We're using ease in out instead, and I'm also changing the toggle to a fade out of 0.1. I want to make everything more smooth here, and I think it just works better with that fade out too. Yeah. And that looks so beautiful with the swipe down. You may notice as I'm going into this transition that the objects do not smoothly rotate. That's because they're entering a new enter trigger and they don't know how to respond. They're just kind of jumping into place, right? What I was trying to do is place the triggers much earlier in the level like this and only have specific objects. For example, these ones affected by this trigger. And I didn't know how to do that because I didn't know how the channel system worked. Now, if I go into an object like this square, I click edit group, I go into extra 2. This is where you set up the channel. You see? So all 3 of these triggers now have their enter channel placed on 0 to match these blocks in the level. And what I've done is I've selected all of the objects in the middle, for example, these ones. I've kept these orbs in the transition. I have set these to 1 so that all of these triggers do not affect the rest. And now when I play through in normal mode, only those objects are affected and the transition is much more smooth. Now let me show you why I'm using 0 instead of just setting the new objects to be channel 1. I place this portal down. I give it channel 1. And I put down an enter trigger just at the very beginning of the level. I'm going to make it touch triggered. I'm going to give it a bit of length, a bit of a rotation as you'd normally do. And I'm going to put on enter channel number 1. When I play in normal mode, look what happens to the portal. It snaps in half. Watch what happens if I go into this trigger, I put this back on 0, and I put this portal back onto 0. Watch this. Watch. Look at this. Look! Nonetheless, I have my transition now and it works. Block deco time. We are going to place down a little line that is going to be stretched up like this. We'll do like 3 tiers, which is going to get wider and wider just as we go down. I'm going to place this on all of the edges of these blocks to make sure it moves on with everything else. So we're not going to put it on every single block, just the edges of like the main ones. Oh, wait. That looks sick. I didn't even expect them to move like that. What? Oh my god, that looks so awesome. What? What did I just do? What I'm now thinking of doing is just copying these triggers and making another version of them that are going to be made for enter channel number 2 that change from a +30 to a -30, and they can have a little bit less length, like an 80 or a 90. Let's just do that for all of them, just because, oh man, this is a hard decision. Don't know, just gonna experiment a little bit here. Move angle, positive, move distance, negative. Okay, and with that, I'm thinking of putting some extra objects in. New editor layer. We're gonna put saw blades on top of these objects. Let's just grab the value real quick. We'll copy paste this on top, make it T2. I'm gonna give it another saw blade that's gonna sit on that block as well. And behind this, we're gonna have some sort of decoration piece. Oh man, this is gonna be difficult because if I put it horizontal like this, then all of these objects are going to move at different times. So I got to be really careful. I'm trying to think of a cool object that I can put behind this. I think if I copy the values and use like invisible objects, maybe. We'll put it on a few blocks. We don't want to overuse this, but is it going to look bad? Probably, but we'll test it real quick. It just looks kind of whatever. I think I'm trying to overdo it. I think these just look fine on their own. I think this saw blade could probably just sit where the lines aren't sitting. So let's remove these invisible objects and we can put the saw blade like here. And then we're going to choose a color for this part. Do I want to use black and white or do I want to have a colored object? We've made a colored object in the lead up, so it only makes sense if we take that color. What happens if we make this saw blade red? Is that going to be ugly? That's going to make it really awkward to put anything underneath it though. And red is just like such a harsh color. Maybe the saw blade should be white. The red details could be sick, I'm not gonna lie. I think as long as I have like black glow behind it, I don't actually know where Rob put the glow. Here it is. What I'm thinking is I'm gonna have like part of these blocks decorated underneath too with another effect. So I'm thinking if I have red details, red is such a striking color that I need glow underneath just to pop it out. So I think this color scheme just looks cool, like the red, black, and white for the blocks, slopes. But for now, let's just fill in the blocks. And I'm actually not concerned about these objects being so boxed up. You see in this design how the line is kind of in between. That's fine, because the objects are moving enough to where they should be outlined anyway. And Saw Blade have more to it. It's kind of just like whatever. What if I put a glow piece on top that like fades in as we go through? Hold on. Fixing up this glow piece. It's just not visible enough. It should work unless I've got it backwards. I got it backwards. Great. Look at this thing. It looks so stupid. Okay, just flip it. Anyway, we have some framework for the objects that we're going to be putting in. We're going to put extra designs on top, I think. But for now, we're just going to have these like base designs in, because underneath these objects, we're going to have some particles. We're covering the level in these black blocks right now. Yep. We're going to create a mask. I want to put a particle effect underneath, and it's going to take me forever to do that with what we have. Why do I make my objects off-grid when I know that this happens? We're gonna put extra designs on top of there. I'm not cutting out shapes for that wave. You know, I'd rather just cut this off here, grab these values of this object, and then go ahead and just take a huge glow object and just go like, oh yeah! Just try our best to just line this up here. I'd rather the effect just like fade it out and just let it shine in the background. Okay, now we need to go through with mini objects, and this is gonna be torture. Okay, done. Well, that actually didn't take as long as I thought it would. And now we get to do the fun part, which is just chopping off, like, all of the excess here. We're gonna set up a pixelate effect, which is just gonna stretch it all the way on the X. Maybe just, like, 25 times, something really big. Fade time shouldn't really matter. We're gonna fade the background in, not the shader. It should really be so easy. I just have to go into the bottom layer of the level, place down a particle, wherever you get this object. Here it is. And we're going to replicate what we did in the pixelate trigger video. If I can. I don't really remember what I did, though, so this might be a bit of a challenge. Ooh. We can make them fly this way, I guess. Why not? That might be hype. Yeah, something like this. So they're going this way, but then they're shooting over to the left by the end of it, and they can fade out on their way out. Yeah, something like this. Texture can be something funky. I think we used the sparkles, and they looked really nice with a spin on them. Max particles a lot. Lifetime short. Calc. Yes. Okay. We're gonna do something like this. Yes. Then we're gonna rotate like this, and like this. So it's going in all directions, and then we have this like shimmering background. Okay, red looks sick in the background. Yeah, should be pretty simple. Let's just 47, lock, and just put like a 999. Yes. Okay, this works. Oh god, the background needs to stop pulsing. Let's see this in action. Okay, the effect broke at the start. Oh my gosh, that looks sick. Wait, I didn't even mean to do that. This looks amazing. What? Dude, the blocks were not supposed to have that moving transition at all. I was going to change the group on them. That gradient looks terrible. Wow. Okay, interesting. By making the mask blocks move with the rest of the moving objects. That's so interesting. Okay, so without further ado, this is the work that I've done in this episode. I'm probably not going to fully decorate it until a couple of episodes later, just so I can get more of the level mapped out, and then maybe get more ideas for decoration as I go. But yeah, I'm really happy with this as like a concept. I've definitely got to fix that transition, but this looks so cool. It has so much energy at the sides of the screen and behind the blocks mainly, which is the best way forward, I think. So this is really turned into a banger. Holy crap. I love it. Thank you so much for watching this Geometry Dash video. Check the links in the description. I'm so excited to work on this more. Thank you so much for watching this Geometry Dash video. Check the links in the description. Leave a like and subscribe, and have a good day.